I'm taking things to a whole new level today.
Come on, you're so badass. It's blowing off of you.
Gonna be rocking out with the multi-talented Aisha Tyler.
As an actor, you know you go in a million times to these auditions and you're not fitting whatever this stereotype, this structure is that they've created
And
for
it ain't
you.
personal. You know, we're just gonna hang.
They didn't understand that comedy was a job. It seemed like magic.
Climb rocks and stuff.
Rock! I'm probably climbing too close to you.
Yeah, back up, bitch.
It's gonna end badly for both of us.
Today on Across the Board, I'm hanging with triple threat Aisha Tyler. Actor, comedian, host, she can do it all. Let's see what happens when she takes me rock climbing.
Have you ever been in one?
No, I don't know.
It's gonna be ugly and fun. It's gonna be fugly.
I have no idea what I'm doing. All right,
Look at
so what made you decide on rock climbing for our first date?
You know, I know, right? I started rock climbing in high school, and I was never very good at it. I'm definitely not good at it now. No, but I always felt like it was something that was like super physical, but fun, and like really, I don't know, not team building because it sounds a little like whippy dippy, but just like a thing you could do with friends. You can be chatty, like when one person's climbing, the other person's belaying, and you can kind of spend a whole day at a rock wall in nature and like hang out, have lunch, and then the climbing is like this kind of interesting problem solving. So it's a mind body thing. I should just like cross my legs and start meditating now, I think. But
No, totally.
it's super fun. And yeah, so some of the holds are bigger and easier, but
Where should I start?
This is kind of a complex wall. I didn't realize that practice walls were inverted.
And it's going this way.
I know, it's entirely angled the wrong way. Like one of the big principles with climbing we were talking about is that you have to use your legs, right? Do you want to be out almost like a tripod, like, you know, you're like a little triangle, and you use your legs to push you up, and then if you were stable and not about to fall backwards, you would then like, you know, reach for another.
Like that.
Like that. Don't you see why
I can do that. I can totally do that.
That is a really advanced fall. I don't know if you saw how advanced that was.
I got that.
That's
Ready?
for advanced climbers, that fall.
All right.
Yes. Awesome.
I can't go any
So
further than that.
then you'd have 3. Yeah, that's.
Oh my.
I feel like that we could call it a day.
I mean, but there's a few things that you and I have in common. And that's why I'm so glad that we're finally get to hang out.
I'm listening.
Being a black woman, especially in this business, you charge your own course, and also beat back against the stereotypes of what we're supposed to be like, what we're supposed to like, the music that we're supposed to like, our humor. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. I feel like it's that there's a part of like white Hollywood that wants you to be a certain way. There's a part of black Hollywood that wants you to be a certain way. But I was such an like a social, like isolated, like really socially isolated kid and nobody wanted me. You know what I mean? The black kids in my neighborhood didn't want me because they thought I talked white, and the white kids in my neighborhood didn't like me because I was only a black kid.
I can totally relate.
That like you stop caring. Like
when did you stop caring?
Oh, very early, because I wasn't getting anywhere with anybody. I was making no headway. Like, I used to go to I used to go to the library when I was like in the 2nd and 3rd grade by myself, and I would like read all day, or I'd go to the movies. I was very nerdy. I'd go to the movies and I'd watch like 4 movies in a row. Like I'd sneak around the theater and see all the movies, and I'd play video games in between showings. And yeah, you know, I mean, I just think once you realize that you're not gonna, you're not gonna fit, or you can't figure out how to make yourself fit, you just say, well, I'm just gonna do the stuff I want to do.
You were just recently on the top 10 influential nerds.
Oh, yeah, it was on that nerd list.
7.
Yes.
Right? What's it like being an adult nerd versus?
Well, it's obviously a lot cooler nowadays, isn't it? Although
you can really own and claim it.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we're gonna be like the cronut in a few years. Everyone will be over nerdery, right? Like nerds had their day, right? 2013 was the year of the nerds. Right. I mean, to me, I think it's more about celebrating individualism. Like, I think that's the idea of people really being into nerds. You know, all the kids that were super popular when I was a kid, and this is a little bit of a generalization, but they all peaked really early. If you're super popular in high school, you never have to try. You never had to try.
Well, where else do you go from there?
You can't go. All those people get knocked up at 19, you know what I mean? 3 kids by 25. Not that that's a bad thing, but it can be a dream killer sometimes, you know? And it was all the weird kids that had to strike out on their own that did strike out on their own. And I think there's something about nerdery that also drives kind of, you know, that like obsessive thinking can also drive innovation. You know what I mean? Whatever you're doing, you know, as an artist, that you realize when you weren't going to fit that mold, that you either had to create a mold for yourself or you weren't going to work. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like claiming that spot, that place outside of the box, because people want to, you know, it's easy to either put yourself, try to fit into that box, or people think that they want to put you in this box, but you have to own and claim the space outside.
Yeah, and also not be made to feel badly that you don't fit in. It's like, you know, I mean, as an actor, you know, you go in a million times to these auditions and you're not fitting whatever this stereotype, this structure is that they've created
and
for you.
And it ain't personal.
No, it's not personal. And the minute you realize that and you just go, you know what, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, I will find a place, like, you know what, that place will find me.
Right.
It frees you from all of that, like, I wish I was more like this.
Yeah, I wish I was a little bit taller.
I wish I was, yes. If I had a girl, I would call her. I would call her.
Was that something that your parents instilled in you, or supported you in your individualism and you just sort of thinking outside the box?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel, like my parents were definitely like, my father was definitely not a like, try to get in to fit in guy. He was just like, do your thing, don't worry about other people. My dad definitely has a, like, if they don't like it, they can lump it kind of attitude about the world generally. But he also really wanted to raise like a tough girl. So, you know, I didn't get to complain. I really didn't get to complain. Like, he didn't tolerate complaint. Oh, the kids, if you have a problem, go figure it out. Right. You know? And I think, you know, when you're a kid, like, that feels mean to you. But when you're an adult, you just realize it's making
self-reliance.
You so tough. Exactly, so tough. And you know, in this business, just mental toughness is so important. It's so important.
Yeah, it's actually, equally as important as talent and
sometimes more
timing
because
and all those
things.
things.
A big part of success is not quitting.
All right, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go get you guys on the wall.
All right. Another thing that I find we have in common is that we both had a crush on Sam Rockwell.
Oh my God.
Wait, did you guys ever hook up? Can you say?
I didn't know. I really would not be one of those people like kisses and tells, but like
We've been so long.
It's been a million years. Yeah, no, I mean we dated kind of. We were like we dated for a little while. Yeah, like he was the first guy I liked at my new school, and he was an actor, and I followed him into this improv class, and then
So that's how I
got into acting. So yeah, I mean it ended well.
So is that where you got the bug? Comedy bug?
I think so. I mean,
or before that?
My family's super funny, so I think looking back, I could say, well, maybe it started a lot earlier than that. But and my dad took me to see like Live on the Sunset Strip way too early for my age.
Richard Pryor?
Yes, I mean it was like really inappropriately.
Did you listen to a lot of Richard Pryor records in the house?
I wasn't one of those kids. I didn't understand that comedy was a job. It seemed like magic. You know, it didn't seem like a thing that people did. Like Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, like they were magicians. You know what I mean? They were like special magic people. So I didn't even figure out that you could do comedy for a living until I was in college.
I went to Yale, you went to Dartmouth.
Totally, which is like amazing because the Ivy League experience is so similar and so different. So different. Because like Yale's a real college, right? Like in a city.
So is Dartmouth.
They're just like Dartmouth is like, okay, I feel like if you're ever gonna send someone a postcard of an Ivy League school, you send them a postcard of Dartmouth, right? It's like snow, brick, leaves.
Right.
But then
what was your major?
I was a government major, and then I minored in environmental policy, like environmental studies. So I wanted to be an environmental lawyer. I was really into the outdoors. That's why I went there. I was like a big old hippie. And I wanted to school in the woods, and I wanted to go to school in a place that was like totally different from because I grew up in San Francisco, and so urban and diverse and progressive, and I went to this like country conservative, just to stick a finger in their eye.
Right.
But I loved it there.
And so you leave there, and you're like, I'm gonna be a stand-up.
Yeah, totally. Well, you know what it was?
What happened that made you?
Don't you feel like you had these two lives? Like you had an academic life, and you had kind of a creative life? And
the only thing that was creative about me is that I could like cake suck out of a cake. That was about as creative as I got. I was more creative. I was more creative in high school.
That is its own
than
talent,
college.
Joy. That is its own art
It
form.
was.
I was like performing on the side. I was doing sketch. I was at one of those. I was at an a cappella singing group, the ubiquitous Ivy League a cappella singing group. Right. And then I got a degree, and I thought, well, now I have a degree, so I can always go back to get an office job. Let me just see how the acting works out.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, right?
We're like totally twins.
We are totally
Seriously.
twins. I felt the disturbance in the force, and now I know it was you. Hi.
Hi, so we're gonna get you strapped in.
Okay, goody. Gumdrops. This looks like it could end your childbearing years.
Well, my husband's a stuntman, so he taught me how to
We're
get
stepping
in
this way, right? I haven't been in one of these in a very long time, so.
Oh, okay.
Good. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Are you ready?
No.
No, me neither. I know. Why did I pick this?
Ready? You know
Why did I pick this? I was not thinking.
Can I go like, no. I'll meet you up there.
I want to wait for you right
here. And I guess the major thing is not to look down, right?
Just not to focus on
the height.
The height. Yeah, I'm probably climbing too close to you.
Yeah, back up, bitch.
This is super fun. Isn't it fun?
It's entertaining. Do I have to tap that damn thing?
Yeah, you can do it.
I can't tap this?
You can do it. Grab right here.
Okay.
And then stand up like there you go. Yay! And then just lean out. Okay.
Wait, can't I just climb down?
It's totally fun. You can do it. Yay!
Oh, that was down already. Fun, right? We did it. No ass top. We did it. No ass top. Hey.
It's so sad when you're twerking and there's nothing.
No, I asked my cousin.
It should be twonking or tronging.
No, I asked my cousin. I was like, hey, you think I can how do I learn how to pop my booty? She's like, you need a little more booty meat back there.
It is a trust exercise when you're doing it. Trusting yourself, trusting your body, trusting that you're strong enough and you're smart enough to make the right choices. It's a mind over matter thing. You know you can do it. You just have to. Your body has to know that you can do it. You know.
It's such a metaphor for life.
It is.
Isn't it?
We're learning things.
Right?
We're learning.
That's also how you kind of flow with your career and the choices that you make, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, so that's an interesting thing because I feel like when people, I'm sure people ask you this all the time, how did you pick this role? And for most of us, and not just African American women, but actors, for most of us, the way we pick a role is somebody asked me. They offered it to me and I took it.
Right.
So looking back, sometimes people will say, well, did you have a plan? And you don't always have a plan. When you're going up, you're just taking the very next step. You know what I mean? This is the step that's in front of me. Yes, I'm choosing to take this step. It's when you look back that you see that the steps were more calculated.
Well, I think that's interesting you say that because for you, being this multi-hyphenated, I mean, you might multi-hyphenate like a mofo.
Work obsessive.
But, I mean, you rock so many dope hats from hosting 3 shows and writing best-selling novels and stand-up comedy and acting and all these things. And not waiting for Hollywood or the comedy gods to anoint you as the next this or that. You hustled your ass off.
More like everything you said and more like what I was like, if I wait for somebody to bring these things to me, they will never come.
Right.
You know what I mean? They'll never ever come to me. So I've got to go out there and create them for myself. And this year I directed some music videos and I was like, I really want to direct more long form stuff. I have to get an arsenal of short form pieces I've done. So I just went to all my friends who were in bands and said, hey, if you let me come to your show and have all access to you for a couple of days, I will give you a music video. No matter what happens after, I had an amazing time creating these things. The work itself is the reward.
Right.
So every single time I do something, so what I'm doing is am I engaged? Am I excited? Was it fun? And then also for these videos, they're rock bands.
Yeah.
No one's gonna come give a black woman a directorial job on a rock band.
That's another thing we have in common because you're a rock and a metal fan?
Well, the first album, first of all, I grew up in San Francisco. So, the first album I bought was Metallica's Kill 'Em All. My first live show was Black Flag at the Farm in San Francisco.
Oh,
so
hardcore.
but because I was always an outsider, I just stopped worrying about fitting in. I was like, I'm just gonna like the style I like, Because when I first started stand up, also everybody wanted me to be Def Comedy Jam, and I was like, not only am I not that way, I couldn't even fake it. So I'm not even gonna try to fake it.
But I love I read a quote where you said you waited for your audience to find you. All right, I don't need to go clamoring for whatever. I need to be who I am, and they will find me.
And I think the art's the reward. So when people come to me and they say, I want to be an actor, I want to be a comedian, I go, don't do this unless you love it so much you can't do anything else.
And don't do it to be a superstar.
Yeah,
that's a whole different set of...
It's probably not going to happen for you. And so if you don't love your art, you will never be happy. But if you can be happy doing plays, and if you can be happy writing, if you can be happy performing in coffee houses, then when success comes, you'll have had years of just personal joy, right? Because that's what keeps you going when you get the door slammed in your face over and over again.
Every day.
Everybody does.
Every
we
day.
all do. There's no way you can avoid it.
I want to ask you about comedy. Black women in comedy.
Right.
Where's the love?
We're in there, but
you know what I mean. I still feel like the exposure that is given to them and the opportunities
I feel like
to
it's
white, and then also
I feel like it's gender.
It's
so
just
I feel like it was
gender-based?
I feel like first it was white male comedians that were getting all the heat, then it was black male comedians, and now it's white female comedians, and then we're the caboose. We're the caboose. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of usually how
which is how it is in culture. But when you are an outlier, just takes a while for everybody to start seeing what you're doing. And
how much do you have you? Because I mean, you've been doing comedy for what, 20 years?
20 is my 21st year doing
So
stand-up,
how much has it changed being a woman, being a black woman in comedy? How much is?
I'll tell you one thing. Like
how much has it changed?
For me now, looking at my audiences, the thing I'm really proud of is how many of my audiences are men. How many of my audiences are white men and Asian guys and Latino guys. Like I feel like men take women comedians more seriously. I mean, I don't think 10 years ago a guy would say his favorite comedian was a woman. What's changing now is just more women, more comedians are getting the kind of exposure that allows them to be free to do their own thing.
Hey, ladies.
Now do you want to climb more? Do you feel like you want to do it more? Are you tired?
I can just hang out.
You want to go hang out?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go kick it for a minute. Come on.
Oh, no, I hate you.
So it's funny because you and I have known each other a long time.
I know.
But I don't actually think we've ever
we've never hung out,
right? We've had like a long-term kind of like girl crush. So
this
is our
brought us
first date,
together.
right? So I thought we would hang out.
You've been married almost a quarter of a century.
So my husband and I are about to celebrate our 20th anniversary.
When?
In May. In May. I know, it's ridiculous.
You've been married longer than
I've been with him longer than I've been apart from him.
Wow.
Yeah, like, more than half of my life.
That's congratulations.
Thank you. It's so strange.
But is there a secret to it?
It's funny. I've been talking a lot about that in my act. Like, is there a secret to staying married? And the only thing I've come up with is to be nice. You know what I mean? Which seems a little like overly simplistic, but it's funny if I could sum the one thing that we do when we're super nice to each other. It's repulsive. We're like the please and thank you family. You know what I mean? Like, thanks for being you.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the dishes. You're so great. You spend a lot of time in a relationship thinking, well, they're 70% great, but if only this 30% was different, I'd be happy. If only they'd change in this way, I'd be happy.
Right.
We have permission in our marriages to be who we are. He hates this business. He's not in it. I don't ask him to be in it. Everyone's always like, why isn't he on the red carpet? I'm like, because he don't want to be on the red carpet. Why am I going to try to make him be on the red carpet? Why am I going to spend a bunch of time trying to make him do something he doesn't want to do?
My husband's the same way.
You know what I mean? Like, he has a lifetime pass to never show up at anything ever again. We recently decided we weren't going to have kids. We'd never wanted to have kids. And then we kind of got to that point where we were secure. All of a sudden had a job that was great and some stability, and you never have as an actor. You're never in one place for any long time. And we decided, well, let's see if we can have, let's see about having kids. And then we realized we waited too long, we'd run out of road. And it's funny, I don't think that was like as heartbreaking as it would have been if I had dreamt of having kids my whole life.
Yeah.
People ask me about it now, and I go, if I'd really wanted kids, I would have had them in my 20s. But what I really was doing in my 20s was being an artist.
Right.
And in my 30s. And I think a lot of women now, modern women, think we have unlimited amount of time to do everything, which we don't. We really don't.
Right. But what we do have is the choice.
Yes, and I made great choices. Like, I've made all the choices that I wanted to make. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't have gone back and done anything differently.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, I could have chosen to be a mom at 25, or I could have chosen to go on the road and do stand-up and be an artist. And the choices that I made have led me to the place I am now, which is a really good place.
What's next?
God, I love that question.
It's a hard one, huh?
Because it's so wide open. Oh, this is super pretentious. I apologize.
No. Go ahead.
I would like to smush Catherine Bigelow, Ben Affleck, and Clint Eastwood together, and then make them a black woman. And that is the career that I want. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. Then I want to slowly start directing films. And that way, when I'm like in my 60s, I could be Catherine Bigelow and be directing action movies. That's what in my head, I'm Paul Greengrass.
I love it.
In my head, I'm a plump, unkempt Englishman. That is my plan. And I want to travel a lot more, and I want to, then I want to make it easier for other artists to do their thing too. I want to create space for other people to make stuff. And you see young people, and they have these great ideas, and they think, well, I can't see anything like what I've done, so it's never going to work.
Right.
There was nobody like either of us when we were coming up. Nobody. You know what I mean? So you forge your own path. So I want to create a space for other people to do that.
Because you have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Because there's going to be many times in your life when no one is going to believe in you.
Yes. In my book, I wrote, which is all about failing. There are all these quotes about failure, but my favorite one is from the brilliant and famous philosopher Rocky Balboa.
Break it down.
And it goes like this. It's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Ooh.
And that is my
like that.
life's philosophy, right? Everybody wants to talk about how great they are, right, when things are going well.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to know what you're capable of when things are going badly.
Yeah, how to pick yourself
Get back
up and dust off
every
and keep going.
single
Yeah.
time. And keep, as my sister would say, the great philosopher Aisha Tyler would say, keep it pushing.
Oh.
Yes. I
right.
could do this all day long.
I want to stop doing this
Are you
because my crotch is on fire.
It's like
And I can't feel my left foot anymore. I'm totally numb.
mind over matter.
Ramdas
young Padawan. The force is strong within you. Shall we get down?
Let's get down.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Super fun.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Was
You
it
know,
fun? Did you feel like did you enjoy it?
Yeah, you know what? I never would have really done. I was thinking about doing this at some point, but I'm glad you made me do it.
You're just naturally a badass, so you just needed somebody to get you in here.
What do you say we go have a beer or two or three
Shots.
or four or five? Not a shot.
You know, I'm a bourbon girl.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whiskey is for bitches. Woo! Oh my God.
That was so
crotch is on fire.
Thank you. Super fun.
Watch as multi-talented, multi-hyphenated Sal Masakela, host, actor, musician, philanthropist, all-around cool guy, and my friend.
And they gave me a shot with the mic, and I knocked it out the park.
We together take a leap of faith.
Oh, nice!
Whoa! On across the board.
Pharrell Williams here.
Hi, I'm Joy Bryant,
I'm Eric Ripper.
I'm Tom Colicchio.
I'm Dr. Frank Lipman, the host of On the Table,
the host of Across the Board.
Host of Artist Talk.
Host of Hooked Up.
host of the show Be Well Week, Be Well Weekend on the Reserve channel.
It's only on Reserve.
Did you know that you can follow my show on social media sites like Facebook?
Follow us on Twitter.
If you're a fan of my show, hit the like button.
All of the above.
Share me with your friends.
Treat yourself. Check out a new episode of my show, Hooked Up.
And if you want to leave comments, feedbacks, ideas, whatever, love to hear from you. Leave a comment.
And if you don't want to miss the show, be sure to subscribe.
The one that's like down here, or is it here? Somewhere down here.
Thanks for watching the Reserve channel.
Only on YouTube. Throw caution to the wind and ask yourself what rules.